Good evening, and welcome to the Metropolitan Police Department's 22nd Annual Awards Ceremony.
It really is an honor to welcome you all to the Metropolitan Police Department's 22nd Annual Awards Ceremony. It's good to have everybody here. This evening's program is an opportunity to recognize the many accomplishments over the past year and to celebrate our awardees' extraordinary commitment to MPD's mission. Know that all of your colleagues, those here, not here tonight, and those watching on live stream, are incredibly proud to work alongside you, as am I. As you know from your computer, your smartphone, and Chief Conti himself, excellence is transferable. That excellence is on display this evening because you not only exemplify the best of who you are, you inspire us to reach higher, work harder, and be better. At our awards ceremony last October, we recognized the courage, selflessness, and stamina of MPD members, both in protecting the Capitol and those inside from a violent group of insurrectionists, and also continuing to police our streets during a global pandemic. While the pandemic has subsided and January 6th is no longer front and center, there remain daily challenges that MPD faces, whether it being ongoing First Amendment protests or the increase in violence in our city. So courage isn't only needed in times of crisis, it's required of you every day, whether you are sworn or a professional member. Serving in law enforcement is as much calling as it is a profession. And every day you continue to respond to that call. Time and time again, you say yes to MPD and to the citizens of our city. That really is nothing short of amazing if you think about it. So without further ado, or any more jokes from me, maybe, our official ceremony will now begin. Please stand for the presentation of colors by the MPD Honor Guard and MPD Pipes and Drums, followed by the singing of our national anthem by Officer Brittany Shakir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, who say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Join me in giving them a round of applause again. And please remain standing for the invocation delivered this evening by Reverend Thomas Bowen.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we who know you by many wonderful names and many marvelous experiences, we need you now more than ever. And we need you more than we'd even know. We need you. We thank you this evening for our mayor, for the support she has shown not only for our officers, but for their families and the communities from which they come. We thank you for Chief Conti. We thank you for the 508 days, 10 hours, and 26 minutes that he has faithfully led this department. He has not only served and protected our city, he has also served a nation and protected a democracy. We thank you for all the officers in the best police department in the world, in the best city in the world. We pray for their protection even as they provide it. We pray for wisdom when time is a luxury they are not afforded. We pray for courage when they do not know what's on the other side of the door. We pray that their humility will not put them in danger. We thank you for their families and their unwavering support as they attend to the essential needs that wages and benefits cannot provide. We thank you for all those who we gather here on this day to honor, who are the best of the best, who have made a difference in our communities. They remind us each and every day that excellence is indeed transferable. And we thank you for the 700,000 plus residents of the soon-to-be 51st state, whom they proudly serve, and the millions who will come to visit. Now, Lord, we know that this will take a group effort, and it is the greatest of all class projects, but bind us all to the notion of justice for all. In the name of the one who is justice, who is grace, and who is mercy. In that name, amen.
Thank you, Reverend Bowen. You can all be seated now. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing the Executive Assistant Chief of the Metropolitan Police Department, Ashan Benedict.
Thank you, Dan. Before I begin, ladies and gentlemen, Chief Conti could not be with us tonight, so please direct your attention to the screen for a message from the Chief.
Good evening, Metropolitan Police Department family. I am so excited to join you this afternoon for the annual MPD Award celebration. I want to first extend my congratulations to all of the award recipients. You guys have worked incredibly hard over the years. Despite the challenges that we've seen this year and the previous years, you all have stepped up to the plate. You've come to work. You've worked hard. Despite the things that we've been going through with respect to the national narrative in law enforcement and the pandemic, you showed up. MPD came to work and we got the job done. So I'm incredibly grateful for you for that. Speaking of the pandemic, on the heels of last weekend, I was not feeling very well. The day of the recruit graduation, actually on Friday, and decided to test myself for the COVID-19 virus. As part of my duties and responsibility as chief of police, I interact with people all throughout the day, all throughout the city. And sometimes that comes at a risk. Well, that risk has come true for me, and I have contracted COVID-19. The great thing is I'm on the mend and I'm doing much better. And I will be back on the front lines very soon. I look forward to rejoining you guys. I'm so incredibly proud of you guys, but I wanted you to know why I'm actually missing the ceremony tonight. I did not want to put your families at risk or you at any risk or the members of our team to any risk whatsoever. So Chief Conti is doing well. Chief Conti is recovering, but tonight is your night and we celebrate you. Congratulations to all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chief really wanted to be here tonight, but let's give our chief, my friend, and our leader, Robert J. Conti III, another round of applause. So it's a pleasure to be with you tonight, and because this night is about you, our talented and committed award winners, I'm going to keep my remarks short. But before I begin, I want to recognize some of our special guests in the audience today. So first and foremost, we have the family of Gunther Ishida here with us tonight. We have Chief Al Dyson from the United States Secret Service Uniform Division. We have the acting director from the ATF, Gary Restino, Deputy Director Marvin Richardson, and retired ATF Acting Director Regina Lombardo. Please give them a round of applause. I'm particularly grateful to share tonight with all of you. Celebrations are far too rare in law enforcement. And yes, we celebrate birthdays and have the honor, I have the honor on a regular basis to bring a lot of you into the chief's office along with Chief Conti and recognize the remarkable accomplishments you have every single day. But this ceremony is more about what you might see as business as usual. It's about really honoring the men and women who have reached extraordinary heights in the work that they do, and the people they lead, and the ways they help fight crime in our city. Crime that we all know, in some areas, are on the rise, but we stay in the fight. That makes tonight, and you, even more remarkable. Instead of shying away, you lean in. Time and time again, you lean in. Sworn and professional, patrol officers or commanders, agency partners, community members, you are why MPD is such a powerful force for good in our communities. But you are not sitting here alone tonight. You're sitting here with colleagues, with family, with friends, all of whom have sacrificed for you, have worked alongside you, who have waited long hours at home while you were working overtime. They understand when you've missed that special occasion because you were called in on a Saturday, or if your day off is on a Tuesday, you have to go in. And most importantly, they support you, you support them, and we are a family, and we are better because of all of us. MPD is better because of you. Thank you.
Please now direct your attention to the video screens while we take a look back at the accomplishments and memorable moments of the past year.
The violence was quelled. The Capitol is secured, and the people's work continues.
Before we continue with the awards program for tonight, I want to take a moment to reflect on the officers we lost. One of the greatest losses is that of a fellow MPD member. Last year, unfortunately, we lost 3 of our own to suicide. A way that we can honor each of them is to bring suicide out of the shadows in hopes of preventing it and helping each other heal while remembering those we lost. We are all impacted when we lose a member to suicide. They were our coworkers, our friends, our partners, our husbands and wives, our parents, our children. We will continue to carry them in our hearts. I ask you to remember this saying when you think of them. It is not how they died that mattered. It is how they lived. To those who have felt the darkness close in, you don't have to walk alone. It is normal to be impacted by the things we see and experience in our role. Our work is physically and emotionally difficult. You may feel frustrated, mad, or sad. Holding these feelings in and ignoring your emotions doesn't work through. It can actually make things harder for us. Talking with someone you trust is one way to help sort through all these feelings. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It takes strength and courage to reach out and ask for support. When we respond to calls for service, we don't see weakness. We see an opportunity to help. Before the ceremony tonight, I had the chance to present the family of Gunther Hashida a token of the memory of someone in our MPD family. And we shared a few words. While no token or words will bring back those we lost back, we hold these officers in our memories and uplift who they were. When someone comes to you and shares that they are struggling, respect them for coming to you. There is no need for anyone to feel alone, helpless, or hopeless. We're all in this together, and just by being there, you may be able to help make a difference in someone's life. The department has good resources at Dr. Anderson and her team through our MP EAP, and they are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For each of us, Dr. K, our Director for Employee Well-Being Support, can share a variety of resources available to each of us, no matter what the challenge is. Now please join me as we remember all the officers who died in 2021 with a brief moment of silence before we continue tonight's program. Thank you. Each year, the Chief of Police presents special awards to individuals or teams whose contributions to our mission and to our city stand out, and I am pleased to present 3 of them on behalf of Chief Conti. In April 2021, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives Washington Field Division leadership worked with ATF headquarters to obtain the NIBIN Mobile Command Center to help the Metropolitan Police Department process firearms. The unit was composed of a diverse team of agents, analysts, and task force officers to assist with crucial laboratory work. The development of the Mobile Command Center was no small feat. Without a doubt, the creation of the MCC resulted in all evidence being processed within 24 hours and even returned leads within 48 hours or less. The MCC was operational for 4 months, beginning on April 12, 2021, and ending on August 9, 2021. But the work continues. During this deployment, the unit acquired 695 crime scene cartridges into the NIBIN system, which resulted in 373 leads. They test-fired 657 firearms and entered them into NIBIN, resulting in 169 NIBIN leads. They traced 700 recovered firearms, conducted 15 media and dignitary visits, and provided training for VSIT, homicide, DDU detectives, and MPD cadets. Their work was nothing short of extraordinary. This award is special to me to recognize my colleagues at ATF. Going back a year, it was April 2nd, 2021, we received a call into the Chief's office informing us that the Department of Forensic Services, DFS, lost their accreditation. And that entity was the one that processed firearms for us. And they did a great job turning things around quickly, but just like that, we lost the ability to do that. So I reached out to ATF and said, can you help us? You're the federal gun police, what can you do? Chris Ammon teed up the idea. We have this mobile command center. It's in another part of the country. Sean, I don't know what we can do to get there, but if you can do anything, this is now the time to ask. I said, I know who just I'm gonna call. And that was retired ATF Acting Director Regina Lombardo. And when she heard what we needed in the city, in an hour of our greatest need, we have a gun problem, and we had to keep moving this evidence along. When I talked to Regina, she said, it's gonna be there, and it's gonna be there next week, and whoever I need to tell, they're gonna get told. And it was there next week, and we haven't lost a beat with the MCC and the way we process firearms. So that is what partnership's all about. We expect to be good partners, and we have great partners, and this is an opportunity to recognize all of them here today. I invite the following members of the NIBIN unit to the stage tonight to be honored for your hard work this year. Retired ATF Acting Director Regina Lombardo, Assistant Special Agent in Charge Christopher Ammon, ATF Washington Field Division Group Supervisor Sam Ward, Special Agent Dan Futrell, Special Agent Orlando Mora, Special Agent Rebecca Lipsky, IRS Alexandra Matrinovic, MPD Task Force Officer Wayne Garish, MPD Task Force Officer Eric Roche, Contractor Babar Das, U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division Officer Eric Hadzima, and U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division Lieutenant John Penikiewski. Throughout her tenure with the Court Services and Offender Supervision Agency, known as CSOSA, Carol Schneider has been one of the MPD's greatest allies. Ms. Schneider has worked closely with the department in various public safety measures, initiatives, task forces, and community events. As CSOSA's liaison to MPD, she has spent most of her years embedded with the Command Information Center, working closely with the criminal research specialist assigned to the investigative support section. Ms. Snyder's partnership over the years has been invaluable, and she will be greatly missed in her well-deserved retirement. Please join me in honoring Carol Schneider with the Chief of Police Special Award. Our Citizen of the Year award goes to a community member who has demonstrated a commitment to their DC community. That is admirable. This year, we'd like to recognize Ms. Prita Picara, who has made meaningful changes in our city. Safety is a concern for all of us, and one of the many ways we can make our city safer is by focusing on everyday issues like driving over the speed limit, driving recklessly, and disregarding the well-being of pedestrians. Whether helping place signs to advise drivers to reduce their speed or advocating for additional speed bumps in neighborhoods, Ms. Picara has focused much of her time and energy on implementing creative ideas for citizens to be safer in the Brentwood community. She recognizes that partnerships between citizens, local businesses, and MPD are essential to achieve crime reduction in every area. Neighbors and businesses in Brentwood to make improvements to our communities. Ms. Picara is an invaluable asset to the residents of PSA 504 and our city overall. Please join me in honoring Ms. Prita Picara, our 2021 Citizen of the Year.
Kicking off the award presentation for Sworn Bureau Employees of the Year is Assistant Chief of Patrol Services South, Andre Wright.
It is my honor to present the awards for Sworn Bureau Employees of the Year, whose tireless work ensured that the overall operations of MPD run smoothly. To highlight some of the accomplishments in this group, we have a 2-decade MPD veteran who, through her work in the Firearms Registration Branch, helps ensure gun owners follow licensing requirements. A creative thinker whose storytelling through video brings new recruits to our academy and educates the public. An ID agent with respectable reputation for respectfully and deftly handling complex misconduct and use of force investigations. A sergeant whose deep knowledge of how MPD functions enables him to excel at his work in the Criminal Investigations Division. An officer with the demonstrated ability to work in high-stress, dynamic environment and is depended on for accuracy in critical command staff reports. A senior sergeant who possesses tremendous knowledge and experience to support the many officers and officials of the department. A sergeant whose work gives new meaning to adapting on the fly and who never shies away from taking on additional responsibility with humor, integrity, and excellence. A captain who understands the importance of reaching outside the department to develop strong relationships with partnering agencies and the community with their patrol services area. And finally, a sergeant whose tact, diplomacy, organization, and wealth of knowledge is essential to the efficient function of Patrol Services South. Please join me in congratulating Technical and Analytical Service Bureau Employee of the Year, Sergeant Erica Dortch Jones. Oh, that's right. She's 21 years old today. Good job, good job. Executive Office of the Chief of Police Sworn Bureau Employee of the Year, Officer Stephen Benson. Internal Affairs Bureau Sworn Employee of the Year, Sergeant Gary Siapa. Investigative Services Bureau Sworn Employee of the Year, Sergeant Nick Rizzi. Homeland Security Bureau Sworn Employee of the Year, Officer Lisa Jones. Professional Development Bureau Sworn Employee of the Year, Senior Police Officer Raymond Chambers. Youth and Family Engagement Bureau Sworn Employee of the Year, Sergeant Robert Zarowski. Patrol Services North Bureau Sworn Employee of the Year, Sydney Mack is accepting on behalf of her mom, Captain Judith Mack. Oh, and Craig. Sergeant Craig Mack. Craig, you still know who the boss of the home is, right? Patrol Services South Bureau Sworn Employee of the Year, Sergeant Joseph Hudson, also known as Superman. Please join me in congratulating all the well-deserved achievement for all of the work done for these officers.
Presenting the District Detectives of the Year Awards and the Agency-wide Detective of the Year, please welcome to the stage Assistant Chief Leslie Parsons of the Investigative Services Bureau.
All right, good evening, everyone. The next group of award recipients embodies all the qualities of good detectives, to include good communication, detailed interview skills, and superb critical thinking. On a daily basis, these detectives work with the community to solve the worst crimes that occur across the city, help bring violent offenders to justice, support the recovery of victims, and protect witnesses that come forward to help keep our community safe. The dedication of these members is remarkable and valiant. Their roles are necessary and essential to this department in order for us to bring peace of mind to the residents and visitors of our city. Among those being honored tonight for the Detectives of the Year include a talented detective who in the first 10 months of 2021 alone closed 63 cases, including 18 robberies. A detective whose exemplary interpersonal skills while interacting with victims, witnesses, and other community members is evident by his friendly, respectful, responsive, and compassionate manner. A detective who colleagues consider them one of the hardest working members of MPD and also one of the most trusted. A detective assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division as an investigative review officer who has reviewed thousands of cases and conducted initial follow-ups to ease the burden of his coworkers. A detective whose can-do attitude is contagious to other members of the office and his squad, and who mentors new members as a training detective. A detective with 25 years on the force who, despite his seniority, still chooses to work the most serious and demanding cases in the office with the greatest competence and compassion. a detective whose strong work ethic, ability to clearly distinguish facts from opinions, and keen eye for identifying gaps in cases led to his selection for a core group of detectives investigating some of the most violent crimes in the district. A detective assigned to the physical and sexual abuse branch on the midnight shift, whose sex offense investigations, including educators and other high-profile cases, were handled with excellence, diplomacy, and compassion. And a detective transferred to the homicide branch in 2019, whose first case was a cold case from 2014. And by putting the puzzle pieces together, he was able to secure 2 arrest warrants and close the case in 2021. Please join me in honoring 1st District Detective of the Year, David Naples. Second District Detective of the Year, Richard Marin. Third District Detective of the Year, Philip Tridico. Fourth District Detective of the Year, James Monahan. Unfortunately, our next awardee couldn't be with us tonight, but we want to recognize 5th District Detective of the Year, Timothy McDonald. Our 6th District Detective of the Year, Robert Kasilevich. Our 7th District Detective of the Year, Ian Williams. Our Youth Division Detective of the Year, Aaron McAnoff. Our Homicide Branch Detective of the Year, James Phillips. Great and admirable work has been done by all these detectives. The Metropolitan Police Department thanks all of them, as well as their families, for the service that they give to the citizens every day. Let's have one more round of applause for our District Detectives of the Year. It's now my distinct pleasure to honor MPD's agency-wide Detective of the Year. Detective Antoinette Mason was assigned to the carjacking task force. Okay. She'll be out. I got to finish reading this, and then she'll come out. And we can do it all again, I promise. All right? Detective Mason was assigned to the carjacking task force in January of 2021. She immediately became an asset to the unit. Her eagerness, tenacity, and professionalism to see cases thoroughly through to the end made it very apparent To the detective officials, that Detective Mason was truly a special talent. Detective Mason is one of the top carjacking task force unit detectives. Determination to bring cases to closure is one of her biggest assets. It sets her apart from everyone else. Her attention to detail and keen investigative skills led her to closing multiple high-priority and serious cases, ranging from armed carjackings to armed robberies. She continues to serve as an example of what hard work, dedication, and sheer commitment to the community should look like. And if you turn your attention to the screen, we have a short video.
My name is Detective Antoinette Mason. I'm a detective with the Metropolitan Police Department. I was 21 years old when I came here to MPD. That's just when my career started in law enforcement. I was an officer with the 4th District. My training officer was Officer Kwok Lee, and he pretty much just laid the foundation, for me.
So one of the reasons why I nominated Detective Mason was I looked through a lot of the detectives, see what they did for the year of 2021. Detective Mason immediately came to mind. Just her work ethic, her commitment to the citizens of the District of Columbia who've been victims of crime, and her work just stood out. The way she wrote, the quality of her writing, the presentment of affidavits to the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Office of the Attorney General, those stood out amongst others. So Detective Mason was hands down selection for the carjacking task force.
It definitely means a lot that someone such as Captain Golden recognized my work. And just with all that I've been through this year, just with my grandma, taking her to chemotherapy, them doing the surgery, the cancer, getting all the cancer out, and still being able to maintain a professional work ethic and closing cases, and no victim felt left out or no victim felt that they didn't get a call from me. I worked at the same pace. You wouldn't have never known that I was caring for an 81-year-old person.
Detective Mason has the ability to balance the work and personal aspect of her life, between managing her caseload and seeing her cases through to the end, making herself available not only but for her loved ones, but also for her co-workers, whether it's in the carjacking unit or if it's an outside agency. She's really able to find that balance and fine-tune it and maintain that balance.
Detective Mason that stands out amongst other detectives, including myself, is that it just no stop. And she can remember things about my case from a year ago, a year and a half ago, that I can no longer remember. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Anytime she asks me a question in regards to one of my cases from a year ago, I say I have to go back and take a look at it, but she knows it.
There's no me without a support system. And I can say that each detective that I've worked with been there. Whether I had appointments and I needed someone to pick up video footage, or I needed someone to kind of swear to a warrant for me, they definitely been there. So I know my name is the awardee, but I definitely gotta give a shout out to the carjacking task force.
I can't express my gratitude as a supervisor. Coming into a new unit a year ago, for the long nights, the 24 hours, sometimes 36-hour shifts that our unit works without a break, I am just eternally indebted to Detective Mason for all her hard work. And I know this is just proof of the pudding that it doesn't go unrecognized, and I'm glad she's receiving this recognition.
One additional thing to add in regards to Detective Mason is that her wonderful wife, Farah, is a strong supporter of her. And I don't think Detective Mason will be able to focus on her job without her strong wife, Farah, being committed, taking care of her grandmother, understanding the long work hours involved, packing her lunch, making sure she's doing the right things in order for her to be effective at her job.
Detective Mason, congratulations on being 2021's Detective of the Year. You deserve it, and thank you for all the work you do.
Congratulations, Detective Mason. I know this is your first Detective of the Year award, but I'm sure it will not be your last.
Detective Antoinette Mason, AKA Patty, I just want to profusely thank you from the very bottom of my heart for all of your dedication, all of the long hours, everything you've done for this unit to help keep the continuity and a positive direction for the unit and for the department. We can't thank you enough, and you are the most deserving person I can think of for Detective of the Year. Thank you.
All right, let's welcome our 2021 Detective of the Year, Detective Antoinette Mason.
Presenting our Professional Staff Bureau Employees of the Year and the Deborah Ennis Professional Staff Employee of the Year Award, please welcome to the stage Assistant Chief Michael Culligan of the Professional Development Bureau.
Good evening. The group of awards I'm presenting represents the best of MPD's professional staff. While these members do not patrol our streets like our sworn members, they are critical to all functions and operations of the Metropolitan Police Department. We recognize as a department that not all jobs can be completed by our sworn strength, and we are lucky to have such an amazing and devoted professional staff team to help us best serve the residents and visitors to the District of Columbia. Our professional staff awardees this evening include a professional staff member who has helped the department bring in and manage roughly $900,000 in grant money, and whose creativity and intellect continues to raise the bar in innovation by identifying new opportunities and making them a reality. A leader in HSB's Command Information Center who helps train and orient new members of the CIC by conducting training and orientation, and also has served the role of acting watch commander more than a dozen times when needed. An IAB director who spearheads the branch community engagement efforts with organizations such as the Central Union Mission, creating meaningful opportunities for members to connect with communities we serve. A member whose colleagues describe them as one of the hardest working and most dedicated employees of the agency, and who is always in a good mood. A member who has a passion for mentoring new employees and played a key role in the development of new recruitment training. A member whose outstanding work of identifying and analyzing emerging crime trends and then providing counsel on allocating deployment has been of tremendous benefit to MPD. A member who is essential to ensuring successful outreach activities and creating new, innovative ways to form partnerships and gain the trust within the community. A 26-year MPD veteran who, as an administrative assistant, juggled multiple projects and never slowed down when COVID-19 hit. And a professional whose eagerness to help MPD build deeper relationships with the community and led to the first movie night, which is now being rolled out in other areas of the 1st District. Please join me in honoring Executive Office of the Chief of Police, Professional Staff Bureau Employee of the Year, Ben Fang Zing. Congratulations. Homeland Security Bureau Professional Staff Employee of the Year, Shantaze Barnett. Internal Affairs Bureau Professional Staff Employee of the Year, Kathleen Crenshaw. Investigative Services Bureau Professional Staff Employee of the Year, Vera Worsley. Professional Development Bureau Professional Staff Employee of the Year, Ganiette Harris. Technical and Analytical Services Bureau Professional Staff Employee of the Year, Nicholas Brannick. Youth and Family Engagement Bureau Professional Staff Employee of the Year, Mary Jones. Congratulations. Patrol Services North Professional Staff Bureau Employee of the Year, Tawana King. Congratulations. Patrol Services South Professional Staff Bureau Employee of the Year, Kristen Cousins. Thank you to all of our professional staff members for your service to our city. Let's give these members another round of applause. The Deborah Ennis Professional Staff Employee of the Year Award is presented to a professional staff member who has demonstrated a dedicated commitment to their duties at the Metropolitan Police Department. This year, I am honored to recognize an MPD member who exemplifies being of service. Throughout her time at our agency, this individual has been a valued asset. She provides outstanding customer service in her role at TASBA. She always interacts with her customers with a smile, a positive attitude, and a drive to solve the issues that she was called to address. She is friendly and follows up with her customers to ensure that all issues that were initially reported were solved appropriately. Gamala Jenkins epitomizes the gold standard in customer service by combining her friendly, positive attitude, commitment to her work, and to ensuring all issues were resolved.
My name is Gamala Jenkins. I'm a desktop technician here under the Technical and Analytical Services Bureau of MPD. I've been here for almost 4 years. I'm a part of a great team of desktop technicians, so we're customer support. So my job in a nutshell is actually the second tier support to all the MPD users. First tier, they actually call, and if an individual on the phone can't help them remotely, I myself or my coworkers, we will be able to go on site to troubleshoot further or call them ourselves, and we're more familiar with the environment so we can get more information and better assist them. So that's our job as technical support, desktop technicians here at MPD.
IT is very important to the department. We currently have about 2,800 computers, and my staff consists of 8 members, and Gamela's one of them. So you have 8 members supporting 2,800 devices. Whether that's 2,800 devices mixed up between desktops and laptops, and that doesn't even include the phones. Everything is run through IT. If someone comes in the morning and can't log in, they call us. If someone comes in the morning and their phone doesn't work, they call us. If they can't open up some software, they call us. If their email doesn't work, they call us. If their monitor doesn't turn on, they call us. So we have IT is very important to the department. Everything is run by IT. Everything that they use, the computers in the cars, the computers on your desk, everything.
Customer support is actually the core of our job. Because at the end of the day, if you're calling me and you're frustrated, you don't care what degree I have, how many I have, you want that problem solved right then and there. So customer support, that's the human interaction part of my job, where I have to put myself in the user's shoes, empathize with their situation, and figure out how I can assist them, in their heightened state of frustration. You have to get them to a level where you can have them feed you information to better help them. So, and me personally, I'm on that other end outside this building. So I would like to provide the same type of customer support that I'm expecting in return when I call someone for help.
Working with Gamella or managing Gamella is great. She is consistent, she is reliable. Since she started, she hit the ground running. When you give her a directive, you never have to follow up because you know it's completed. But she does follow up with you. She's a breath of fresh air.
I never in a million years thought that I would be actually working in law enforcement. But at the end of the day, it's a win-win for me because I'm supporting the very same people that are working hard to keep the city that I live in safe. And I feel like if I come here and give my best, I'm helping you all actually help me and my family in the long run.
If there's something that needs to be completed, she gets it done. And she doesn't feel good if it's not completed, if she leaves something hanging. And she's like, I got one more thing to do. So she is the type of person that she will help any of her members. We did a laptop rollout in 2021 for all the detectives. Gamella configured all of the laptops. So if we had 20 laptops going to 7D, for example, she configured all the laptops, did the documentation, did the inventory. So for every district, she did that. So when the team rolled out to the location, she was on site with them, ensuring the right person got the right laptop. And I would have a team of 4 or 5 people, but she did all the configuring of the laptops.
Flexibility and being fluid is a must in this environment.
I get thank you notes saying, hey, Gamella did a great job, she assisted me, she worked through the trouble points. So I have members who, in IT, technology can be frustrating. So you may get members who are upset because they can't figure something out or upset because something's not working. Gamella will show up on site, assist the user with their issue, and then they're happy again. So she is a mood changer, when it comes to getting someone comfortable with their equipment.
My motivation is my kids because I try to instill in them to whatever they do, put your best foot forward. I don't care what it is. If you're not going to do your best or give it your best shot, don't do it at all. So I can't expect that of them and not do it myself. So I have to be an example for my children. I remember being, as a younger person, I used to always hear people say, do as I say, not as I do. I can't be that parent. I have to be an example for my kids. So it's do as I do, but do it better. Thank God and my family for instilling the work ethic that I have. That came from my mom and the women in my family. They're real strong and hard workers. So I'm thankful for my family and the values that they instilled in me.
Now please welcome to the stage MPD's Chief of Staff, Ben Heyman.
It's my distinct pleasure to recognize 3 individuals who've demonstrated a great commitment and have made many contributions to the Metropolitan Police Department in 2021. First, we recognized our Volunteer Corps Member of the Year, Mr. Bruce Ekstrom. Mr. Bruce Ekstrom exemplifies what it means to be an MPD volunteer. In all of his efforts, outstanding public service remains his focus, and his dedication is unrivaled. Bruce is also a member of the 2D Citizen Advisory Council as the secretary. In addition to his coordinating meeting notes at the CAC, he plays a pivotal role in tracking high-profile court cases through a system and providing essential feedback to the commander of the 2nd District as well as members of the 2D CAC. Thank you, Mr. Ekstrom, for all that you do for MPD. Thanks. Good to see you both. The Cadet Corps branch is a structured environment to develop and shape youth into responsible and accountable adults. Over the past year, Cadet Giovanni Brito has taken great strides to become such an adult. Since his tenure with the program, he has been an exemplary cadet, exceeding the cadet's SMART goals and standards. He consistently just demonstrates humility, and his positive attitudes can change the energy in any room that he enters. He is also very competitive, which has him as one of the top performers in physical training. Cadet Brito's hard work and dedication extends into the classroom, where he has an overall 3.6 GPA. He is currently detailed to the 1st District, where he works with Mr. Barry Jameson, the department's body-worn camera coordinator. Mr. Jameson has expressed on numerous occasions how he admires Cadet Brito's work ethic and professionalism. Cadet Brito is truly a role model for all cadets and has a bright future with MPD. Congratulations, Cadet Brito. Each year, the Joseph Pozell Reserve Officer of the Year Award is presented to a member of the MPD's Reserve Corps whose leadership and exemplary police work demonstrates the best the Reserve Corps has to offer. Since completing his field training and becoming certified, this reserve officer has won numerous accolades and assisted the department in a wide variety of ways. He has received the Life-Saving Medal and the Medal of Valor for his work on January 6th insurrection and work with the 1st District. While on duty, he saved a domestic violence victim from being struck with a baseball bat and has recovered numerous firearms. Officer William Pack is a highly respected in the 1st District and is routinely called upon to provide assistance to other officers within the district. Finally, he has provided thoughtful analysis and guidance to the Strategic Engagement Office and the Office of the Information Technology, or Technical and Analytical Services Bureau. His professionalism and good judgment make him worthy for this award. It is my pleasure to present the 2021 Joseph Pozell Reserve Officer of the Year Award to William Pack. Congratulations.
To present our next set of awards on behalf of Assistant Chief for Homeland Security, Jeffrey Carroll, please welcome Commander Guillermo Rivera.
Good evening. I'm pleased to present 3 distinct awards this evening. The Special Operations Division Officer of the Year, the Violent Crime Suppression Division Member of the Year, and the Keith Williams School Resource Officer of the Year. Officer Kelvin Dyson has been with MPD for 32 years and with the K-9 Patrol Unit for almost 2 decades. During this time, he has become an incredible asset not only to SOD, but also an invaluable member of the K-9 Patrol Unit. As the lead trainer, Officer Dyson is instrumental in building working relationships with the DC Police Foundation, governmental and private entities, in obtaining resources utilized by the K-9 Patrol Unit to better serve the department and the community. He has shown an unwavering commitment to maintaining the highest training standards as the lead trainer of the unit. He is also an example to members of the unit and members of SOD of what it means always to maintain a professional demeanor. Officer Dyson takes every opportunity to conduct public demonstrations of what the Canine Patrol Unit does, which result in a positive, educational, and interesting experiences for participants. He is very much deserving of this recognition. Please join me in congratulating our Special Operations Division Officer of the Year, Kelvin Dyson.
Pleasure.
Investigator Ryan Bernier has performed above and beyond his duties on a daily basis. Investigator Bernier also trains recruits and officers in all areas of narcotics, search warrants, signing and processing confidential informants, and managing confidential funds. On a personal level, Investigator Bernier is an extremely positive person and is a joy to work with. Please join me in congratulating our Violent Crime Suppression Division Member of the Year, Investigator Ryan Bernier. Officer Tyra Moore is assigned to the School Safety Division of the 4th District. She constantly goes beyond expectations, evident by the leadership she displays among her peers and her unwavering commitment to performing all of her duties with professionalism and thoroughness. Officer Moore wholly embraces her role, reaching out to kids in need and providing them with some guidance and support that they may not be able to receive anywhere else. She has earned a reputation among her command staff and peers as a hardworking officer who can be depended upon to represent the Metropolitan Police Department with the highest degree of professionalism. Please join me in congratulating our Keith Williams Stool Resource Officer of the Year, Officer Tyra Moore.
Next, please welcome Assistant Chief of our Internal Affairs Bureau, Wilfredo Malapez.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to present the Amin Muslim Professional Staff Manager of the Year Award, recognized as an MPD Professional Staff Manager that has contributed significantly to the agency's mission. Rohit Johri is such an individual. Rohit plays a critical role in MPD's IT success as Director of Applications Management Division under the Technical and Analytical Services Bureau. He is responsible for designing, developing, implementing, and managing the critical MPD public safety-specific applications and enterprise services used by the agency to manage business workflows and crime-fighting operations. Never was his excellence more apparent than in his role in the lead manager for the MPD project to migrate from the legacy Mark 43 Cobalt Records Management System to the cloud-based Mark 43 RM, an undertaking that will keep MPD at the forefront of technology and ensure the agency achieve the FBI-mandated National Incident-Based Reporting System certification. Surrounded by a skilled and dedicated team, Rohit led this Bureau of Justice Statistics' $2.8 million grant-funded effort from 2019 through 2021. Rohit excels in transforming IT into actionable information for operational leaders and is quick to provide background and deep dive information for any inquiry. He is responsive, respectful, and collegial at every turn. A talented leader and a dedicated project partner at every turn, Rohit is a tremendous asset to MPD and its mission. Let us now congratulate Rohit Johri as the Amin Muslim Professional Staff Manager of the Year. the Community Policing Award. A vital part of law enforcement is community policing. The Metropolitan Police Department strives to have our members create strong bonds with each and every community throughout the District of Columbia. This is accomplished through our officers going the extra mile to connect with them and be partners in public safety. Some of these communities are marginalized more than others, and one of these is the transgender community. Senior Police Officer Gary Thompson has single-handedly orchestrated the creation of several vital partnerships within the transgender community to help ensure their unique needs are understood and supported by MPD. Building a bridge between LGBTQ liaison unit and surrounding LGBT community partners, Officer Thompson brought individuals together to discuss ideas and share resources regarding how best to support transgender individuals. His efforts have also resulted in stronger relationship between the liaison unit and owners of local LGBTQ establishments. These connections proved to be very helpful resources during the summer months, in which there were multiple offenses committed against transgender women in the district. His outreach during these investigations is evidence of his incredible commitment to some of the most vulnerable in our city. Please join me in congratulating this year's recipient of MPD's Community Policing Award, Senior Officer Gary Thompson.
Presenting our next set of awards is Assistant Chief of the Technical and Analytical Services Bureau, Stuart Emmerman.
Good evening, everyone. While we all know that our officers serve in vital roles to keep our department running, they wouldn't be able to do so without their devoted officials. Our next group of awardees demonstrated exemplary leadership throughout the department over the course of 2021. Among those being honored tonight include a sergeant who supervises the major case and cold case squad, as well as the arson task force, and whose cold case squad in 2021 alone closed 26 cases. A tireless lieutenant who served as the 1st District Watch Commander 110 times on all 3 shifts, including several times while on active CDU details. A community-oriented captain whose close relationships with members of the community make business owners and residents feel comfortable coming forward to report crimes and provide feedback for MPD's policing efforts. A dedicated inspector who is known for being a logical and thoughtful leader who on a daily basis motivates the officers of the 1st District to do their best work. And a commander who is held in the highest esteem for his commitment to delivering the best police services possible and is known for his remarkable ability to engage residents, businesses, charitable groups, and other external partners in our shared mission. This evening, please join me in congratulating MPD's 2021 Sergeant of the Year, Sergeant Andrew Finkelman. Lieutenant of the Year, George Donegan. Captain of the Year, Captain David Hong. Inspector of the Year, Inspector, now Commander, Tasha Bryant. and our 2021 Commander of the Year, Commander Duncan Bedlian. Congratulations to you all on your well-deserved achievement, and let's give another round of applause for our officials.
Please welcome back to the podium Executive Assistant Chief Ashan Benedict, who will be presenting the Crime Reduction Award, Unit of the Year, and PSA of the Year.
The 6th District is known as being one of the most violent districts in our city. The 6D Crime Suppression Team is keenly aware that they must target their efforts in areas of recurrent violent crime, bring violent individuals that commit these crimes to justice, and develop strategies to prevent crime in the future. Through this focused effort, the team has significantly contributed to the crime reductions achieved in the 6th District in 2021. 4 of the district's PSA fell in the top 10 MPD PSAs for reduction in crime between 2020 and 2021 by 21%, 17%, 22%, and 29%. The 6D Crime Suppression Team's intelligence-driven strategy and focus on violent and repeat offenders has made our community and city a safer place for all who live and visit here. To honor this work, I now ask all 60 members in the audience to please stand, and I invite 6th District Commander Darnell Robinson to the stage to accept the Crime Reduction Award on their behalf. 6D.
You all know who this is?
The Carjacking Task Force was established on January 24, 2021, due to a substantial increase in carjacking-related offenses. In 2021, the members of the CJTF handled 700 criminal investigations. They made 177 arrests and closed several noteworthy offenses. In July of 2021, a group of juveniles committed 15 robberies and carjackings across several police districts. After great detective work, all the suspects were caught while they were sleeping in one of the carjacked vehicles. The task force was able to charge 4 suspects with 15 separate cases. This is just one example of an outcome the Carjacking Task Force produced. All of the members of the team consistently work well together, always focused on apprehending suspects and bringing justice to the victims of these violent offenders. The members we honor tonight are Sergeant, now Lieutenant Nicole Copeland, Sergeant Valkyrie Finnemore, Detective Thomas O'Donnell, Detective Dante Allen, Detective Christopher Plumley, Detective James O'Bannon, Detective David Evans, Detective James Logenbach, Detective Jonathan Lauderdale, Detective Melissa Douglas Hopple, Detective Antoinette Mason, Detective Franklin Venn, Detective Dwight Jones, and Detective Jamie Kingsley. I now invite them to join. They're here. This next award is presented to a police service area who achieved a remarkable 42% reduction in crime in 2021. Over the course of 2021, every member of PSA 205 exemplified MPD's mission to ensure the safety and security of our residents and their communities, tailoring each of their patrol strategies based on the current crime trends and hotspots demonstrated that intelligence-led strategies work best. As important, partnership with community members was a hallmark of the crime-fighting strategy officers employed, whether it was traffic stops, high-visibility foot patrols, or community-sponsored events. The members of 205 always remained engaged. I now ask all members of PSA 205 in the audience to please stand, and I invite Lieutenant Pongratz to the stage to accept the Police Service Area of the Year award on their behalf. I could so call Commander.
Please welcome Assistant Chief for Patrol Services North, Morgan Kane, to the stage to present our next set of awards.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So I don't have on my glasses, but I'm gonna work this out. MPD is lucky to have some of the best officers in the world. But today's award recipients stand out as top performers in their districts. Commanders were asked to identify an officer in each district whose efforts stood out this past year. These individuals are at the front lines of policing, responsible for developing community partnerships and having a lasting impact on crime. Those being awarded this year include a 23-year veteran who serves daily with quiet humility, wit, and dedication, and is seen as a mentor, comrade, and a coach. An officer who, while off duty, observed a murder suspect and leveraged his relationships to locate the suspect the next day to close the case with an arrest. An officer who, as a member of the mountain bike TAC team, has been awarded multiple 751s, unit citations, and other recognitions for his outstanding police work. An officer considered a leader by his peers and who recently earned an achievement medal for his assistance with apprehending several suspects who were involved in a robbery and carjacking spree across several districts. An officer who travels from New Jersey for her shift, who is always on time despite the commute, and who regularly extends herself past her regular police duties. And a dependable officer who consistently demonstrates excellence and professionalism in support of not only his colleagues and his supervisors, but all residents and visitors to his district. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your District Officers of the Year. First District Officer Thomas Simmons. Second District Officer Stephen Stanford. Third District Officer Ahmed Dorhood. 4th District Officer Philip Burgraff. Fifth District Officer Donna Ulrich. Sixth District Officer David Jarboe. And 7th District Officer Joseph Miles. Thank you all for your bravery and service and for keeping our streets safe every day. Let's have one more round of applause for these dedicated men and women.
I'm honored to present the award to our 2021 Officer of the Year recipient. The Metropolitan Police Department has thousands of officers who make us proud every day, but this officer has been selected for his noteworthy achievements throughout 2021. As a 15-year member at the 2nd District, this officer's dedication is unmatched. Throughout his tenure on the force, he has been a beacon of positive energy to his peers and unrelenting in his efforts to stop crime. In 2021 alone, this individual played a pivotal role in 2 assault with a deadly weapon, gun closures, and nightlife areas in 2D. In both of those cases, the suspect was arrested and the suspect firearm recovered in real time. While patrolling another area in his district, he observed a suspect maneuvering and handling a firearm. Believing that the suspect was trying to provoke or intimidate someone, this officer quickly organized a real-time effort to stop the suspect and was able to retrieve a gun with an extended magazine and detained one of the suspects in both a calm and respectful manner. The main suspect was ultimately apprehended a few blocks away and later pled guilty to CPWL. These are only a few of his many accomplishments, and MPD's fortunate to have such a dedicated and talented officer in its ranks. Now, let's direct our attention to the screen to learn more about this year's award recipient.
My name is Officer Nathan Clark, and I am currently assigned to the 2nd District CST team. What made me want to be a member of the Metropolitan Police Department, I had an uncle who was a state trooper in Tennessee that I grew up with, very close to him, and the ties that I had to the city, being born here, made me want to return home and become a police officer in Washington, D.C. I was nominated for the Officer of the Year, I believe due to several operations that we ran successfully in the 2nd District. It's known that a lot of vehicles are being used with fictitious tags and or stolen vehicles. We were able to apprehend 8 subjects and also take 8 guns off the street in a series of theft from autos. So one of the things that I've looked at is, again, looking at the data, what times do these crimes occur? You know, what can we do to kind of mitigate these and apprehend the subjects responsible for that? And that's what we did.
Every single suspect was arrested, and Officer Clark was the key investigating officer in that case. He was in an unmarked police vehicle. He was able to develop all the information where he saw a total of 8 suspects involved in a planned operation where they were breaking into cars and stealing items. He rallied his team around, into the area. They stopped all 8 suspects and they got 8 firearms. It was a fantastic case. In fact, I would say it's probably the single best case I've seen by patrol officers in my time here with MPD.
Well, I've had the opportunity to go to several other districts, and what makes this second district significant, and I love it to death, is one, the leadership. It starts at the top. I see a leader in Commander Bedleon that is genuinely concerned about community needs. It's inspiring for a leader to be like that. And so, I see what he does, and I've always been a worker anyway throughout the years, but it just kind of raised me up a level, like to do, not only do 100% of my job, but go 110%, 120%. Others within the CST team, have seen my efforts. They appreciate my efforts. So does, honestly, the entire second district. And I hope that not only I will continue my success, but bring change, positive change, to the community I proudly serve.
Officer Clark winning Officer of the Year this year has been a highlight. It's brought some recognition to the hard work and the dedication he's put in over his entire career. It's well deserved, and it's great to see him finally get some of the recognition that he's been he's been deserving for a long time.
I have no doubt that he's going to continue to perform at a high level. And I can tell you, as a father raising kids in the city, I sleep well at night knowing Officer Clark is out there late at night patrolling our areas and doing everything he can to keep the citizens of Washington, D.C. safe.
Officer Nathan Clark, the Metropolitan Police Department's Officer of the Year for 2021. That is an awesome honor. You're an officer leading and spearheading large-scale drug operations in the 2nd District. You're an officer that focuses on getting illegal guns off the street. You are an officer that comes to work every day and you do what we ask you to do, prevent crime in our nation's capital. You are deserving of this award. We appreciate your work, we appreciate you, and we want to say thank you for all the hard work that you do day in and day out on behalf of the residents of the District of Columbia. Thank you.
I am humbled, sincerely humbled, to be Officer of the Year. I want to thank Commander Bedleon. I want to thank Chief Conti, Chief Benedict, Chief Kane, Chief Emmerman, and also thank all members of the 2nd District too as well. And also the station personnel who is constantly interacting with me as I close cases on a daily basis. I appreciate you. Thank you all again, and God bless you.
At this time, please join me in congratulating and welcoming to the stage the Metropolitan Police Department's 2021 Officer of the Year, Officer Nathan Clark.
Love you, Nathan.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce a staunch supporter of the Metropolitan Police Department, our mayor, the Honorable Muriel Bowser.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you, MPD. I want to thank all of the members of the Metropolitan Police Department, professional and sworn members. I want to acknowledge Chief Robert Conti and the entire executive and command staff, our DC government employees, federal law enforcement partners, and all of you, family and friends and residents of Washington, D.C. I too want to add my thanks and appreciation to all of tonight's awardees. I know that choosing among our officers is a difficult task. I got to walk in to hear about our Officer of the Year, and I couldn't be more proud. I'm sure you can imagine that I get asked about our police department all the time. On neighborhoods across all 8 wards, as well as around the country. I get to describe a department that represents and reflects our entire community. I talk about how our police department is out in the community 24/7, building relationships with residents and businesses, going into our schools, working with our school administrators, but also assisting with national responses and First Amendment activities that are unique to Washington, D.C. I get to describe a police department that started making reforms 20 years ago, that takes cultural competency seriously, and was the first big city to equip all of our officers with body-worn cameras. So I can describe a department that is focused on making more DC residents a part of the DC Police Department through our outstanding MPD Cadet Corps program. And to talk about how our department is led by a graduate of the MPD Cadet program, because Chief Conti joined as a cadet at the age of 17, and now he's the leader of our department. But I can also describe fantastic women in policing and our commitment to be 30% female by the year 2030. And we are committed to ensuring that more women and DC residents serve. We are very excited that Pamela Smith has joined MPD. Give her a big round of applause as MPD's new Chief Equity Officer. So all that's to say, we have an amazing department. I talk about it often. I fight for it often to make sure that we have all that we need to protect and serve our community, but also support our officers. We know that we have a lot of work to do, and you should know that your presence in the community is the difference between community members feeling safe or unsafe. And I know that that's a heavy responsibility, but I know it's one that you rise to the occasion for every single day. So I wanted to be here on behalf of all 700,000 of us in Washington, D.C., to say thank you. We appreciate you. You are essential, you are valued, and we are grateful for your service. So to everyone that has received an award today, keep up the fantastic work and know that I'm there down at City Hall fighting for every single thing you need. God bless you all.
We'd like to welcome Reverend Bowen back to the stage for the closing benediction.
What a marvelous evening. You ought to give yourself a round of applause. My prayer for you is my prayer for myself. It is my prayer for us all. May the Almighty give us concern for those who trust us and compassion for those who need us. And please, God, through it all, be by our side. Amen.
Folks, I'd like to acknowledge the efforts of the awards committee for making the event happen tonight. I want to extend my deepest appreciation to the honorable MPD members this evening. and the family and friends that are here that demonstrated support to our department. We would not be where we are today without you. Thank you for being here. I look forward to continuing a great 2022. I appreciate everything you do out there, the sacrifices you make. I'm humbled to be a part of this department, and God bless, be safe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.